Now that I have deburred my edges, we can assemble the bottom section of our saber temporarily just to get an idea what it looks like. Now you can see here, this looks pretty good. This is only temporarily put together, but as you can see that it's starting to look like partially Obi Wan's lightsaber. I'm very happy the way that it came out. The edges are nice and smooth. This here is matching up here very nicely, and I'm very impressed with this, the way it looks. Now where the dip section is, where we trimmed out our rings, we're going to have to cut off this section here of aluminum tube. So what we do is take your pencil, make sure it's got a nice sharp point, make a mark, follow the edges around, remove the bottom edge of your saber, bring down your ring. You can see where the pencil mark is here. You're going to want to cut and form this section here just below this pencil line, and this is where your dip section here in your ring is going to meet up with this. Use your cutoff tool and your sanding drum to form this area here. And as you can see, my dip section here and my saber looks fairly good here. I'm pretty pleased with it. I don't think I have to do any kind of sanding or any more trimming on here. But however, if you do see any edges popping up in the camera or in the video here, well, this piece here is not completely set in place. Now you're wondering at this point, well, why are you using the cutoff wheel and the sanding drum? Why not just use a sanding drum? Well, the reason is this. If you ever use your sanding drum in any projects like I had before, especially on my Qui-Gon saber, if I'm sanding anything with the drum to finish it off, sometimes my sanding drum could just skip off the edges I'm finishing and it goes right across my project, and that can leave gouges and everything else. That's why when I use the cutoff tool and I make my cuts here, I just make a bunch of parallel cuts here into my section where I want to go, so therefore it's deep enough for me to use a sanding drum to smooth it out and then have it look fairly good without the risk of the drum here going across my work area. So that's the reason why. But anyway, progressing on, now we're going to make our emitter section. To make the emitter section, first print out your pattern. On the patterns here, you can see that we have a series of 2 red dots here and 1, 2, and when these 2 dots here come together, we're going to make 3 dots and these 3 dark partitions here. On these 2 red dots here, take a pen, mark the left one L and the right one with an R. Cut out the patterns and cut out these black sections here. Once you have them cut out, tape it onto your 1 3/4 aluminum tubing here. Now you can see here that I just kind of tacked it onto the bottom here, tacked on the sides here, and you can see that I did make my black marker here, so I know when I cut on the outside of the paper that I will not lose my section here on where to cut. Also, where you have those red dots and the black dots, take a 5/64 drill bit and drill out all of these holes. And once you have them all drilled out, take your Dremel tool, the cutoff wheel, and cut on the outside paper here for your emitter section. My emitter section here has now taken form, and as you can see though, it does look rather good. You practically have to be a sculptor when you are making your emitter section, because down here when you start getting into this bottom section here, you have to take your cutoff wheel and start to form out these half circles here. Now use your intuition, be very careful with this, take your time, because you're not only rounding out the bottom section here, but you're also forming the curved sections up here. Now once you have all this done here, take your sanding drum, sand down your edges here, make them look nice, deburr them, so you have some nice smooth edges. And when you have that done, take your cutoff wheel, cut on the opposite end of the paper here. Once you have that cut, take your sanding drum and deburr those edges, giving you a nice clean edge. And here we are with our final cutout of the emitter section here. It looks really good here. I have no problem with this. Deburred, it looks really nice and everything. Also, when you have it finally cut out, where you made your L and R marks here for your left and right holes, just take a marker and mark it on your emitter for future use later for your activation button and your adjustment button. Now we're going to make the grip pattern here for our Obi Wan saber. First thing you want to do is take your 1-inch PVC pipe here and make a line here going straight down the body tube. The best way I could do it again is to take your pipe up against the door jamb and then mark a line straight down. Best way I can say it. Next thing you want to do is to take your grip pattern here, cut it out on the outside edges here, and then cut out the blue sections. Then insert the 1-inch PVC pipe here into your aluminum tube. Make sure that your lines here, that they meet up pretty straight and even, especially for down here, and that your 1-inch PVC pipe is flush with the bottom of your saber. Then take a pencil and make 2 marks here on the bottom right where you made your dip section here in your saber. Once you have your marks, remove the 1-inch PVC pipe. Now tape your grip pattern paper onto your 1-inch PVC pipe. Make sure that you get the top, the bottom here, the sides, as well as the other side as well. When you tape your grip pattern paper onto the PVC pipe, right where you made your markings here on your 1-inch PVC pipe with a pencil, you're going to take the edge of the grip pattern paper and just cover the pencil marks where you made your markings. So when you have that done, make sure that your lines here are symmetrical, that they're all straight when you tape it on here. And once this is taped on, take a pencil or a marker and you're just going to shade in the edges here on your PVC pipe on your grip pattern here. And then remove your grip pattern paper. Now you don't have to do this step, but I'm just doing this just to show you. I took my 1-inch PVC pipe and I placed it inside my Obi Wan handle here. Now this kind of gives you an idea on where the grip pattern is going to land on your pipe itself, and you could see on the right here my pencil mark, so everything here lines up fairly nice, so I'm impressed with it so far. But as you can see when I placed it inside of my aluminum tube here, that it did smudge. Even though I did clean the inside of my aluminum tube here, you know, it does kind of mess up the pattern a little bit. So again, you don't have to do this. Now to cut out your grip pattern, you can use a table saw just to get the proper height and everything, but I do not have access to one right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Dremel cutoff wheel, and I'm going to cut out my grip pattern here, and I'm going to form the corners. As a note, before you start cutting, take your cutoff wheel and you're going to want to start cutting close to this line but not on the line. You're going to want to cut out this section here of PVC pipe here for your grip pattern. Once it's cut out, take the wheel and then trim at the line here. You want to trim out your entire pencil mark here and then form the rounded edges here of your grip pattern. Now here's my grip pattern here as it's finally cut and complete. As you can see, it does look really nice here. Looks really good, and I'm very impressed with this on the way it looks. Now, you do not have to put it into your handle at the moment right now, but I'm just showing you what this looks like. Now I'm going to tell you a few tips and tricks here on making your grip pattern here. First, always use the flex shaft. The flex shaft will give you the best versatility of the tool. It's a lot easier to handle also. Also, when you're cutting your grip pattern, you may want to use a new Dremel reinforced cutoff wheel. The new wheels are always best to cut with, so it makes your cuts even more easier. Now when you're cutting up to your corners here, when you insert your Dremel tool with the cutoff wheel, just cut on the inside of the pencil and then just kind of form everything around. And when you get to your corners here, just kind of shape and round off the edges here, take your time with it, and then cut right at the pencil section, form that, but do not go beyond the pencil section. Now if your Dremel tool comes with one of these spiral shafts here, this is even better. Attach it onto your tool, and you're going to want to even form out more of these rounded sections here. Now with the rounded sections here, when you cut off with your cutoff wheel, you're going to have extra PVC on the inside of this wall here. You want to get this down flat, so take your spiral bit and just kind of form it all out like right here. And this will give you your grip pattern. To clean out the inside of your PVC pipe here, take your toilet tank overflow tube. Now this is one purpose for it. And take your overflow tube, stick it on the inside of your PVC pipe, and then just kind of clean out the inside of your PVC pipe. This will help loosen up any pieces of PVC that may be stuck to the inside of your pipe here. You don't want that. Now once you have that done here, just blow out any of the plastic inside. I'm just using a small square here of 100 grit sandpaper, and I'm also going to clean out the inside walls here for my handle pattern, my grip pattern here rather, sorry. And just kind of get rid of any other large chunks of PVC that may be lingering here, because you want to get this as clean as you can. So when you have that, you want to have a nice clean grip pattern here for when you paint this.